$200 a day drug habit and I'm drinking around the clock. So, but it completely changed my life. I got brought into an emergency room one night and not in very good shape after working on me for whatever it was, a little bit of time. Opened my eyes and this doctor's staring at me and he said, "You have no idea how lucky you are. There's zero chance when you came through the door here tonight that we thought that we'd be talking to you face to face." And I'd love to tell you that was the day that things turned around for me. It really didn't. I got out of there and I schlepped it off as being, well, I got out of another situation unscathed. I had car accidents and all kinds of stuff happened to me that I would walk away from these things thinking almost like I was invincible. It was kind of strange. And then a few weeks later, I was like, you know what? I got to the point where I'm like, I can't take this anymore. This has got to stop. I went and got a fair amount of goods. And my intention was to be done with it, to repeat what happened a few weeks before that, except this time, don't come back. Right. So next thing I know, I do everything. Somebody's knocking on my window of my car. And it's a guy that I had been doing into a drug rehab a couple years before. And him and my ex-wife were friends. She wasn't actually my ex-wife yet, but turned out to be my ex-wife. His wife and her were friends. And he was over at the house one night and they were talking and he's like, "Where's Scott?" And she's like, "I have no idea. Like, he's gone. He disappeared. He's living on the streets. He's got a bad problem." And I'm like, "Dude, how'd you find me here?" Afterwards, I was like, "How did you know where to look?" And he said, "Well, I knew you were working in Hillside, which is kind of close by." And he said, "I heard that you were living on this." So he said, "I just started driving around and I saw your car and I came up and knocked on the window." He goes, "I looked in the window." He goes, "I thought you were dead. But after I banged on the window for a few minutes, all of a sudden you woke up." And so he took me, dropped me off at a drug rehab. And that was 40 years ago. And I'm happy to say that from that day until this day, I've not had a drug or alcohol or cigarettes. Actually, I quit cigarettes at the same time. And it changed my life. When you've had that experience, and by the way, I didn't have one of these experiences where I went down some tunnel and I saw any bright lights or any of that kind of stuff. But I certainly had, for the first time in a many, many, many years, the obsession to drink and do drugs was completely gone. It was actually bizarre to me because every day I would get up and I would have that compulsion and that I'd run around looking for ways to get my next, I had a $200 a day drug habit and I'm drinking around the clock. So, but it completely changed my life. I say to people, it didn't actually change that day, but it actually did change that day. Everything changed that day. But of course, it took a little time before effect of a different life kicked in and my life took a different direction.